Hi everyone, I am coming to you live from my apartment in Boston, Massachusetts, where I now live, to complete my internship for the next 11 months so that I can graduate with my doctorate in clinical psychology. So yeah, as many of you know, I have been working towards my PhD in clinical psychology since 2018, and it has been a rough ride. Okay, like there has been so much happening in the world since I started this program, so much happening in my family, in my personal life. It has been a tumultuous ride, but we're here, we've made it. I'm really proud of the person that I'm becoming through all of these life events, and I'm really grateful for the training that I've received over these last 7 years, and I'm so excited for this last year of training. I ended up at such an amazing site that is like such a great fit for the type of clinician that I want to be, for the cultural competency work that I want to do in psychology, and the decolonizing work that I want to do as a future psychologist. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I also get to work with clients and patients who are the demographic that I'm really passionate about. They reflect my community that I come from, and they reflect communities that are high need, and I'm just really grateful that I get to do this work. However, this work and this journey have come with so many sacrifices, and I've always believed that anything worth doing in life isn't necessarily going to be easy, and that sacrifices are usually worth, the outcome. However, I am at the point where I don't really have much more to sacrifice. I've actually given up so much already, and that has left me in a little bit of a financial pickle. So, just for a little bit of backstory, the American Psychological Association, the APA, requires all clinical psychology, counseling psychology, school psychology graduate students to complete a 1-year internship to complete their doctoral degrees. It's a 1 year of full-time clinical work. You're working 40 hours a week, sometimes a little bit more, but it's supposed to be full-time clinical work. And you are, you're expected to do this clinical work at an APA accredited site. If you don't want to do that, that is also an option, but there are major consequences to not doing an APA accredited site. In order to do your clinical training internship at an APA accredited site, you have to participate in a match process. And for anyone who knows anything about the match process, whether that be through knowing someone who's done psychology or the med school match process, you know that basically you apply to various sites, you interview, you rank the sites rank you and the other applicants, and then the match algorithm runs, and then you match or you don't match. And as I was approaching the match, I was very concerned about having to do an internship out of the state of Illinois, out of the vicinity of Chicago, or Indiana, because I could drive to Indiana. I was just really concerned about having to move out of state, mostly for financial reasons, but also just like stability wise. Like, it's just really hard for me as one single individual without a partner, without a spouse, who doesn't live with my family, to just pick up my whole life and move for 1 year of training And transitions are really difficult for me. You know, I have ADHD. It takes me a while to get a routine going. So just like all of the factors, financial factors, what I thought it would do to my sense of stability and my ability to focus and do my best work. I was just like really, really, really not looking forward to moving out of state. And so, against the advice of so many people, I only applied to internship sites in the state of Illinois for phase 1 of the match. And despite my very best efforts, and I did not match in Illinois. And so I ended up, like I said, ending up at an amazing site that is not in Illinois. And I truly, truly, truly believe that was exactly what was supposed to happen. It's just a very serendipitous, it's a great site. I'm really excited. And I do believe that's what was supposed to happen. But yeah, the move has been costly. It has been far more expensive than what I even thought the move would be, because turns out Boston, Massachusetts is just as expensive as if I was moving to Manhattan, New York City, Brooklyn, New York City. Like, it's really expensive. Why aren't people talking about how expensive the housing market in Boston, Massachusetts is? I have no idea, but I'm here to tell you guys. They're asking for first month's rent. They're asking for last month's rent. They're asking for a security deposit. They've got this mysterious thing called a broker's fee that I've never heard of before. And the rent prices are through the roof. And so I have spent a lot more money than I ever anticipated. And unfortunately, I was hoping to cut the cost of this move by subleasing my apartment and leaving it fully furnished for someone to stay in for, the next 11 months while I finish this internship. And yeah, there's lots of people who need fully furnished sublets, so that was my plan. Unfortunately, if you are a person who lives in any sort of housing subsidy, so I live in a unit that was a part of the Affordable Requirements Ordinance housing lottery in Chicago, apparently I'm not allowed to sublease my apartment. That's news to me because my lease says that I can sublease my apartment. But that's neither here nor there. The long story short is that I'm not able to sublease my apartment. Therefore, I've had to make the decision to sell a lot of my items. And for the things that I cannot sell, I have to ship them to Boston. And it has been really challenging to figure out how I was going to do that. My internship actually started on September 1st, 2025. Today is September 25th, 2025. By the time my internship started, I was not able to find a place to live. I found out that I was going to be doing this internship in July. And then, yeah, I had to find a place to live in a very troubling, difficult housing market in a month, and I was not able to find a place to live because I was trying to figure out what I could actually afford. So I ended up just packing my sweet, reliable Kia Soul to the brim with as many items as I possibly could. And I drove 14 hours, actually 16 hours, with my best friend to Boston, and thankfully my stepmom had a friend who was so gracious and let me live with her for a week, so that I could go to my orientation that first week and then look for places to live every day afterwards, after our orientation ended. And I was able to find a place that was affordable. It's $2,000 a month, and that's on the low end. I promise. but it has a dishwasher, which is like literally my only requirement. I was like, it needs to have a dishwasher, and it has sunny windows, and I'm really grateful for that, because me plus sun equals good mental health. So yeah, I'm really just grateful that I have this apartment. But like I said before, the move-in fees, the rent, and then the unplanned having to pay to keep my apartment for the month of my apartment in Chicago for the month of September, it has put me way like just significantly over budget. And now that I have to ship the rest of my apartment to Boston, it's gonna be I'm using U-Haul U-Box, which is something like Pods but cheaper than Pods, and by cheaper I mean it's $1,630. Yeah, so that's gonna cost me. So because I have to do the U-Haul U-Box plus pay for my rent in October after paying all of these move-in fees for the month of September, it's tight. It's so tight that I'm like, basically after I pay my rent in October, I don't know how I will pay for anything else until I get my next paycheck, which is very, 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 very not meeting the cost of living here. And this is not uncommon. These APA accredited internships frequently do not pay interns a livable wage if they take place in any sort of major city environment. So I'm not the only person who's going through this. There's lots of people in my same position, and I know that people usually just take out loans and take out credit cards and all these things, but I'm really, really, really trying to avoid having to take out any more student loans. I have already taken out so many student loans for my undergraduate and graduate education, and I would really love to not have to do that again. So that is why I'm here asking you for support, because I only make $2 more than the minimum wage in the state of Massachusetts to do all of the work that I will be doing as a clinical psychology intern. Yes, so $2,000 a month in rent, making $2 over minimum wage for 40 hours of work a week equals, it's tight, right? And I already used all my savings to move here. So if you find it in your heart at all to support a struggling graduate student who doesn't have a spouse who can just foot the bill, which apparently, if you want to get your clinical psychology degree, that's something you should know. It's really not gonna be affordable if you're just a single person and you're the sole provider of your home. You're really gonna have to get creative. And I was creative all throughout grad school and I made it work. But this is like, whew. Yeah, I have to ask for help and support from all of you, from people who I hope would like to see me complete this journey and hopefully be able to put forth, my skills into the world to make the world a better place once I have this degree. So I think I might have covered everything. I'm rambling a little bit, but basically, yeah, if you would like to support me in any way, you can donate to my GoFundMe. I'm just trying to pay for this U-Haul U-Box. I'm trying to pay for my rent for the month of October. And I think there are like little miscellaneous things here and there that I'm not thinking about. So I'm just trying to like take that into consideration. So I'm just trying to get $4,000 so that me and yeah, my cat. I felt silly saying that for a second, but yeah, I'm just trying to take care of my sweet kitty so that we can eat and keep the lights on. So yeah, I appreciate all of you in advance. And if you cannot donate, I completely understand. Times are really tough out here for everyone, or for most people. And if you cannot donate, that's completely fine. I would just be so grateful if you could share my GoFundMe on your socials, and just, yeah, even if you don't want to do that, if you want to send me some good energy, some encouraging words, some prayers that I'll be able to make it through this next month, I'll appreciate it. But yeah, who knew that this journey would be so expensive? I don't think I realized it. I think I know, because I talked to other people who are also in my position, I think we've all been a little confused about how much money we've been expected to shell out for our education, where we've already done so much free labor. But I know that it's a means to an end. I've always believed that anything we're doing in life, it probably isn't going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it at the end. And so I would like to be able to, yeah, share, reinforce that hard things are worth doing. And I hope that this can lead to, I know that it will lead to me having my doctorate, and hopefully being able to contribute to changing the way this whole internship process works. Because I think that a lot of people know that this process is not ideal. It's really not ideal. It's not good. It's not good for future psychologists' financial health, and also it's not good for our mental health. And also it's kind of unnecessary in a lot of ways. But I would like to, be a part of shaping that future landscape. So I would like to finish my program, and I would like to finish my program without, with my wits about me, and having all my needs met. So if you'd like to contribute to that, I'm rambling now. Please feel free if you are so inclined. Sorry, my phone died right at that moment when I was ending. So yeah, please feel free if you are so inclined. I would be so grateful. Truly, you have no idea how much. Any little piece of support, even if it's literally $1, you have no idea how much that means to me, and how much that would mean to Gemma, my cat, and how much that will make a difference in the experience that I have here as an intern for the rest of the year. And yeah, I will be forever grateful, and I will remember it forever moving forward, and I will try to pay it forward when I have the means to do so. So thank you for listening, if you listened this long, and yeah.